How you doing, YouTube? Massive beer reviews. That'd be a Hot Butcher beer. This is Bird, not A. It's Bird of Epic Proportions, not a Bird of Epic Proportions. I think that's a big difference. I think you put the A in there, it's not as snappy. This is double IPA with Talus, Nectaron, and Simcoe. They call out their tasting notes as they typically do in the back. I'm a big fan of that. It says Jamie Stone Fruit, Citrus Zest, and Ripe Raspberry. I like when the Jetsa does like morphing things, and it's like a bird with a platypus face, which is whatever, and a crane, and there's a little. See this little dude? He's a big bird, man. He's a big bird. So I dig it. He's now officially the second best can artist in the world. I know. It kind of sucks I said that, right? But whoever did these cans for Half Acre and Revolution, that shit's fucking awesome. So, sorry, Dan. Is this relatively clear beer? I like it when they throw me clear beer. Oh, I'm excited. Clear beer, double IPA, clear beer? What? Really, boys, like I said, I dig it. You're talking about, look at that, man. That's relatively clear double IPA. 8% alcohol by volume. It was like the cans, almost the exact same color as the beer. So I dig that kind of symbiotic relationships. Yeah. I mean, pinky finger, just off white head, and just this old school kind of haziness to it. It looks like what you'd expect from someone in 2004 going, man, that beer looks crazy hazy. That's kind of where this beer lands right now. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited for this. The clear beer gets me excited. I don't know if you guys know this is a pattern here. Doesn't mean the beer is going to be good. Just get a little excited. What do you want? Let me keep twirling it till where the nose gets so big I snort some foam. That'll be fun. Let's dive in. That's dangerous, man. So it's like a crystal malty citrus, but not just like orange. It's like more of a grapefruit pineapple crystal malt mixture of like citrus, old schooliness, West Coast vibes all day with this. Oh man, that smells really good. There's a little weedy thing. Like a little weedy thing, like an uncapped Lonnie weedy. Like there's some weed, like smoking weed in there, but it's pulling weed too. It smells really good. It's sweeter, but 8%. Come on now, it's supposed to be sweet. Yeah, that's a really fun nose, man. I have not had a nose like that in quite some time. Kind of pumped for that, man. You know, this is the second Hot Butcher review I'm doing from the box they sent me. They sent me this beer. They sent me a box of beer. It's been a while. Hot Butchers usually kind of like shock and awe stuff. They like send off a box every couple weeks. And the last time they sent me off box was May, and we're in the middle of September. No problems with that. I mean, they're busy guys, man. They bought a brewery, about a half acre's old spot, moving and shaking. And the first one I did out of this, I wasn't a big fan of the box. I was like, hey, well, losing a little zip on that fastball, maybe? I don't know. This is kind of like, maybe this is just a bad pitch. Because that nose is fun. Old school, but it's very much like old school West Coast without a huge piney resonance to it. It's got this nice kind of cool crystal malt kind of sweetness without being overly sweet, at least in the nose perceptionally. And just that little unkept Lonnie thing that has me kind of a little bit hot and bothered. I could see a little bit of like scalliony, funky onion coming out of this too a little bit. So we'll see what's what. Let's dive in. Cheers. Month and a half old. That's fun. That's an aggressive beer, man. That's a really aggressive beer. Hop-wise. With the way the kind of malt came off in the nose, I thought it was going to be a little bit sweeter than this. I'm actually really appreciative that it actually ends up being less sweet and finishes pretty much dry, which is really, really cool because it gives you a bit of a pop of sweetness up front, but it doesn't. It's not a sweet beer. It's double IPA. It's technically a sweet beer, but... Oh, it's collab with Horus, too. I didn't mention that. I didn't notice their little logo back there until right this second. Man, and it's undersweetened. It finishes dry. It has a really nice mouthfeel while at the same time not being dense or thick. And just the way the hops kind of flutter and play in here. They talk about ripe raspberry, jammy stone fruit, and citrus zest. Now listen, did this drink different fresh? Maybe. But this has way more to do with West Coast than it does. I mean, you talk about citrus zest. Okay, fine. Zest. Bittering. Fine. You're talking about jammy stone fruit. I don't really get jammy off of this beer in any form or fashion. It's undersweetened to the point where I don't even think I can get jammy. I could say, sure, I'm getting stone fruit, but I'm getting like a super hyper undersweetened stone fruit. There's nothing jammy about this beer. And ripe raspberry, if anything, it's almost like a dehydrated kind of raspberry. Almost like if you took raspberry and you mashed it up in the powder, like dehydrated and made it like powdered raspberry. That's the way it comes off to me. Organically, not like an added sweetness kind of thing going on. And I'm not saying that just to shit all over their kind of tasting notes. Again, you're talking about a month and a half old beer. You know, maybe it's kind of morphed, but if it has morphed, it has changed, which I don't think it has a ton. Maybe it lost a little zip on that fastball, but I still think it's kind of relatively close to what it's originally intended. This is a super cool beer. Like, super cool. Think about taking, and this is why, and this is the Hop Butcher fuckdoggery I enjoy so much, that I didn't get on that other beer I was talking about. I'll post them in the same day, if you know what I'm talking about. It was like 5.7% ale. I could see the can from here, but I can't read it. West Coast influence through and through. Like, that's the soul of its body, and it's old school West Coast IPA. Then it has a decent influence of new school, old school, new school, New England style IPA. And when I talk about that, I mean like your Headies of the world, your Sips, your Fiddles of the world. It's not getting super turbid. It's not getting super kind of like just that new school. It's that old school, new school. But just take that, both those elements, make it, 2/3 West, 1/3 new school East, old school, new school East. But do the new school hop fuckduggery thing, where you're utilizing these new school hops to where you are getting a bittering. You're getting a perception of a West Coast kind of bittering on it, but it's not really piney and resinous. It's more that zestiness that we're talking about. And then take these kind of fruit flavors, that kind of stone fruitiness, those richness, those berries, but do it in a very undersweetened kind of way, to where it's just like, it's a really cool combination from malt bill to perception of the malt, to the hop bill, to the perception of the hops, and the way the beer drinks, the way the beer constructed, and how it comes off. I think this is like, I was going to be like a universally like enjoyable beer. If you're all about the haze, like you're just haze bro, hop thought through and through, and you can like talk for more than a minute without burping, it's like one of those things where I think you might hate it because this is not giving you what you want, as opposed to what the beer's trying to give you. And that's, I guess, part and parcel with some of the issues a lot of people have with beers. People go into beers expecting what they want, as opposed to looking at the beer, drinking the beer, and be like, this beer's trying to give me something cool, and I appreciate it. I think if you go in it with that mindset, you might be a little bit disappointed. But if you go into this with pretty much the heart and soul and the ethos of what Hop Butcher is all about, which is just hop F-duggery. I'm trying not to curse as much. I've got a kid. Even though I said, the F word 19 times already. This is the essence. This is the soul and core of what they do, which is taking a really cool, well-made ale base beer and doing hop scheduling, hop dosing, and just making a fun, cool beer from hops that just honestly is not that normal. Listen, if 90 billion people made this style, you'd be like less impressed with it. You'd be like, oh, okay, everybody's doing this. But then nobody is doing this, really. They are, but they're doing like the half of this or 2/3 of this. They're not doing the whole thing of this. So the way they constructed this beer and the way they made it is by far and away my favorite thing about this beer. And it's not a matter of it's just weird because I like it. Because there's a lot of people that try to do weird and it just no mas on that stuff. This is just a cool interpretation, a cool execution, better word there than interpretation, of a beer in a very fun way that definitely floats this guy's boat. So yeah, let's recap. kind of starts off like super boring. First time you touch your lips, not much there. It's off a little bittering, nothing too crazy. Opens up, undersweetened but rich. Has a nice mouthfeel to it. That bittering, that pithiness opens up. That's stone fruit they're talking about, but without that tartness, without that oversweetness. And just this nice, rich kind of like I said, kind of, if you're going to go to the berry thing, there's no jamminess here. It's more of kind of a dehydrated, underripened kind of berry thing going on. And this cool kind of West Coast old school IPA and this new school New England, old school New England kind of thing. Talking about doing something cool and then meeting in the middle with some new school hops in a very fun way. Undersweet, drinkable, chuggable, like creepily, dangerously drinkable kind of beer. In a very fun way. I dig it. One of the more interesting, one of the more fun Hop Butcher beers, and Horus, because they did the collab with them, but it's a Hop Butcher side, so. Yeah. I've had, man. I dig this. I think this is really fun. Is it one of the better double IPAs I've had? It's like, yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? I kind of want to put it there. I don't know. Is it one of the more interesting IPAs I've had? It's easily Mount Rushmore status, but I like this. It deserves to be up there. Let's put it that way. Value and availability, no idea. Because Hop Butcher sends it. You know, that's kind of the fun part of it. Although they do kind of send beers. Like, I work in PA. I don't live in PA, but I work in PA, and I've seen their beers on sale in PA. So it can be had. Maybe not this beer, but their beers can be had. And leave you with, if you like what, will you like this? If you like, honestly, if you like beer, like you're like a curmudgeon-y old dude, not in the way I am, where I have weird. I have an open mind. I was going to say that I have an open mind, where I have relative open mind when it comes to stuff. If you like old school beer and you think like new school hazy IPA and the breweries that do such things are kind of the devil, I think if you had this beer, you'd be like, this is kind of really good. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things like people that just like you're like Pliny. You're like a Pliny gospel like zealot. I think you would really, really, really like this beer. Like, really like it. It's not Pliny. It's not old Russian River stuff. It's not old school West Coast IPA, but it has so much of that in its DNA. I think if you drink this, you go, not for nothing is really good. So, I don't know. If you like beer, if you like IPA, old IPA, not hazy IPA. If you like IPA, you'll like this. There you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Let me know if you've had this, please. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif. We've talked to Jeremiah and Jude like 19 times on there. Go check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Hop Butcher right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.